Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the introduction of SAP and ERP. These are the major topics that we are going to discuss today. For example, what is SAP? What is ERP? The software which comes under ERP, the major resources of any business, and the processes involved in any of the organization or the business. Okay, let's start with our main content. Starts with SAP and ERP. Okay, so the first question that come to our mind is what this SAP stands for. Okay, because whenever we see this word SAP, what we should know what this SAP stands for. What is the full form of this SAP? The full form of this SAP is Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. So before discussing the definition of SAP, I want you to remember that apart from SAP being the software, the company which developed this SAP is also is SAP itself. Okay, so the name of the company which developed this SAP is the SAP itself. Okay, so now comes the question what this SAP is. So the simplest definition of SAP would be it is an integrated software used to manage business processes of any organization of any entity. Okay, now you would be thinking what is this business, okay, or the business process. Okay, so there are the multiple business processes which are involved in any of the organization. Let's suppose there is a manufacturing business. In that business, they would be having multiple processes like procuring the materials, processing it, selling it. Okay, so one organization might have the number of multiple processes. Okay, now we would be discussing the major processes which are involved in any of the organization, any of the business. So now the first is procurement. Procurement is nothing but the getting materials or the labor or the all prerequisite that are required for the business processing. Now the second after procuring what you do, you actually process the things. Okay, that is called processing or also known as manufacturing. After manufacturing, what business does is sales. Okay, after like producing any output, you just sell in the market. And apart from these three core processes, you have to manage the things. And for the management, we are having human resource management and the finance and controlling. Okay, to track all of these, the what is the profit, what is the requirement, what is the cost, what is the revenue, and everything is actually tracked through this business process. Okay, so SAP is actually manage almost all business processes. These are limited. Okay, there are number of business processes. These are the core one only. So SAP as a software manages all of these. Okay, now we would be discussing about ERP. So why we are discussing about the ERP? Because SAP is itself a part of ERP. So similarly, ERP also stands for something. Now the first one is enterprise. E stands for enterprise. R stands for resource and P stands for planning. Okay, let me highlight it or bold it. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. So enterprise, what do you mean by enterprise? Enterprise is actually organization. Okay, organization, or you can say business, or you can say entity, or anything, okay, which are actually involved in the process of manufacturing or selling the thing. And then we are having resource. So resource are simply nothing but a means to perform business processes, or you can say business activities. Okay, so what can be the resources? Now the second part is these are the means. Now what these means are? Okay, let me write down, take this planning here. Okay, so there are multiple resources which are involved in any of the business. So we will understand with the help of 4M. Why we are taking 4M? Though there are multiple business resources, but we are taking 4M for the sake of simplicity. Okay, so firstly, the first M, it stands for money. To start any of the business, what we need is money. Without capital or money, you cannot start. Okay, whether it's from loan or it's your own. Okay, after that, you are having material. Okay, we are having manpower, the employees or the human capital, we can say. And the next one is machines. So these are the means actually to perform your business activities or to accomplish these business processes. Now coming to the planning part. What is planning? So simply planning, you can say it's an act of thinking and decision making. Okay, decision in planning, usually you take this decision regarding the upcoming activity or the future course of action, what you are going to do, how you are going to do. Okay, so ERP is actually helping you to do all these things, all the business processes. And one important point about ERP is each ERP functions on database, some database. Okay, so without database, ERP won't be functioning. Now you would be thinking what this database is. So database is nothing but you can say a storage or a collection of related data or the set of related data. We will be covering about the database in our separate session. For example, we are having SAP. So SAP is a part of ERP which also functions on database. Okay. Now we are having some of ERP softwares are. So what are the major ERP software we are having? Okay, there are number of ERP software. Let me write down few as we have already discussed. First one is SAP. Okay, and we are having Oracle. We are having Microsoft Dynamic and the Udo, which is very similar to SAP and in trend. Okay, so these are the major ERP software. Now let's jump on to our question session. Okay, so as I have already told you that ERP actually works on any database. So the question is, can ERP work? Can ERP works on more than one database at a time? Okay, this is the question. So the answer simple straight is no. Every ERP Okay, whether it is SAP, Oracle, or Microsoft Dynamic, any, they would be using only one database. The reason is data integrity. Okay, the consistency would be broken. Whatever the transaction you are doing, they would be put it in particular database. Okay, and the same is retrieved while you trying to check any of the posted transaction. Okay, that's why any ERP would be working on any single database. Now the second question that I want you to give answer in the comment section is when SAP was developed. Okay, I want you to answer this question in the comment section. Thank you. We will be meeting in the next session.